The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra may find themselves increasingly drawn to each other in the coming weeks. Sally and Billy already shared a drunken kiss, but they could hit the sheets sober next. There are definitely some flying sparks happening that Billy and Sally may continue to pursue. The show's been building Sally and Billy's bond for a while now, so they may ultimately decide to kick off a real relationship. However, not everyone will be a fan of Billy and Sally's growing connection. Despite his feelings for Chelsea Lawson, Adam Newman may feel some lingering jealousy as Sally and Billy get closer. Of course, I and our viewers will also be curious to see how Billy's kids react to his new romance, especially Katie Abbott. Johnny Abbott seems willing to roll with whatever his parents want, but Katie can be stubborn and opinionated. It took a long time for Katie to warm up to having Claire Newman for a sister, so that's something to remember here. It may take Katie a long time to warm up to Billy and Sally dating too, if she ever does at all. Katie might see the potential for her parents to reunite instead and start pushing Billy back in Victoria's direction. Victoria is currently involved with Cole Howard, but Katie may think that's going to fall apart eventually. There's not a lot of heat between Cole and Victoria, so Katie may feel like they'll fizzle on their own sooner or later. As for Billy and Sally's budding romance, Katie may decide she needs to stop that before it goes too far. It's easy to imagine Katie resorting to some sabotage and becoming a little schemer who causes problems. In other words, Katie might do some parent trapping and start by ruining Billy's attempt to move on with Sally. Perhaps Katie will cook up some plots and do her best to steer Billy toward Victoria again instead. Our Vi and our predictions hint that Billy and Sally could face some surprising curveballs, so we'll bring you updates on any unexpected news and hurdles they might encounter. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sally and Billy will inevitably face some bumps in the road eventually, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to Radiant Serum. I'm Aubrey, and I hope your day is shining bright. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump right into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Audra Charles could be keeping some secrets that fans aren't privy to just yet. Back in 2022, Audra made a confession to Noah Newman that certainly raised viewers' suspicions. At the time, Audra told Noah that toward the end of their relationship when things got bad, she found out she was pregnant. Since Audra didn't want it to look like emotional blackmail, she kept quiet and was hoping to tell Noah once their relationship was in a better place. Instead, Audra supposedly miscarried and went through that painful experience alone. However, we have to consider the possibility that Audra lied about that miscarriage and gave the baby up for adoption or even handed the kid over to a family member to raise. That's especially true based on a new hint in Y and R's October 30 episode. Nate Hastings suggested it was hard to fathom Amy Lewis letting all those years go by without ever telling Nathan Hastings Sr. he had a son. Audra appeared uncomfortable as she advised Nate not to judge Amy on that. It seemed like Audra was speaking from personal experience when she said there were a lot of reasons why Amy might have felt the need to keep the news a secret. Audra even stuttered a bit as she responded to Nate, so we definitely got some nervous vibes, like maybe she was holding back a secret of her own. If so, that could tie in with this speculation that perhaps Audra didn't actually miscarry Noah's baby. Perhaps that child lived and is still out there somewhere growing up without Audra and Noah. It could pave the way for the truth to come out and blow things up down the road. Of course, it's also possible Audra had a secret kid with someone else once upon a time. No one can rule it out since fans honestly don't know many details when it comes to Audra's past. Whatever the case, Audra's secret child angle is an interesting idea to ponder. One that could change multiple lives if the show decides to pursue this storyline. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Audra could deliver some curveballs eventually, so we'll bring you more predictions on her future and pass along any shocking updates to come. Aria, a bright-eyed girl with boundless energy, was thrilled as Halloween approached. It was her first time experiencing the magic of the season. Pumpkins with carved smiles, houses decorated with ghosts and cobwebs, and people dressed as all sorts of creatures. She clung to her mother, Sharon, in innocent wonder as they prepared costumes and treats. Every moment was a new experience, and the sparkle in her eyes lit up Sharon's world. Watching Aria embrace Halloween, Sharon's heart overflowed with happiness, a joy she hadn't felt in ages. Maria and Tessa joined them, making each moment unforgettable. Together, they felt like the perfect family, cherishing the peace of the festive season. But lurking in the shadows was Phyllis, simmering with anger and resentment. Seeing Sharon's happiness only intensified her bitterness. As her own son Daniel remained in jail for a crime she was convinced he didn't commit. The joy Sharon experienced felt like a cruel reminder of her own heartache. Desperate to make Sharon understand her pain, Phyllis devised a plan that would shake everything. Halloween night provided the perfect cover. Costumed figures filled the streets, and the chaos of the evening would be her ally. Phyllis never intended to harm Aria, loving children too much for that, but she believed taking Sharon's daughter, if only briefly, was the only way to make Sharon see her suffering. Carefully watching as Sharon, Mariah, Tessa, and Aria moved from house to house, Phyllis waited for the perfect moment. When Sharon was briefly distracted, Phyllis swiftly and silently swept Aria away, disappearing into the night. By the time Sharon realized her daughter was gone, it was too late. Phyllis had vanished without a trace, leaving Sharon and her family in terror. As they frantically searched, calling Aria's name, it felt as if she had disappeared into thin air. Meanwhile, Phyllis took Aria to a cozy, prepared cabin filled with toys, snacks, and warm blankets, wanting her to feel safe and comforted. Dressed as a friendly witch, Phyllis kept the Halloween spirit alive for Aria, who remained blissfully unaware of the gravity of her situation. Back at home, Sharon's fear grew with every passing hour. Suddenly, her phone rang, and a cold, altered voice on the other end demanded that if Sharon wanted to see her daughter again, she had to confess to the police that she framed Daniel and apologize publicly. The threat was chilling, and the choice left Sharon with an impossible decision. Could she sacrifice her own freedom to save her daughter? With her mind swirling with questions and desperation, she was ready to do whatever Phyllis asked if it meant bringing Aria home. As Sharon prepared to confess, Mariah and Tessa pleaded with her to find another way, but her decision was firm. She couldn't bear the thought of losing Aria. Watching from afar, Phyllis felt her own heart torn. She had orchestrated this plan to avenge Daniel, to make Sharon feel her pain, but seeing Aria laugh and play tugged at her resolve. The lines of revenge and empathy began to blur, leaving Phyllis questioning the depths of her own plan. Victor Newman has always been known for his sharp instincts and deep curiosity about people. Years of experience in both business and family matters taught him one rule: trust no one blindly. So when Diane entered the picture, Victor's interest was piqued, though he remained wary. Diane's charm and resourcefulness were undeniable, but her complicated past left him cautious. However, it wasn't only Diane who held Victor's attention. A new player in Genoa City named Audra had a mysterious aura that caught his eye. Audra's arrival stirred intrigue among the locals. Her past was a closed book. She revealed little about who she was or why she was in town. Victor quickly noticed some startling resemblances between Audra and Diane. Similarities in mannerisms, strategies, and a knack for manipulating situations. As time went on, rumors about Audra's background grew. People wondered if she came from a family of influence or was connected to a powerful local. The more secretive she was, the more suspicious Victor became. Curiosity led Victor to investigate Audra's background, and as he dug deeper, every new detail only fueled his suspicions. Audra's timing was almost too perfect, coinciding closely with Diane's reappearance in Genoa City. Both women had managed to establish connections with the Newman and Abbott families. Could it all be a coincidence, or was something larger at play? A theory began to form in Victor's mind. What if Audra was Diane's daughter? The similarities were striking. And if Audra was Diane's child, could she also be Jack Abbott's daughter? Jack had a history of complex relationships, and while he fiercely protected his family, past entanglements had left lasting marks. Jack's only known child was Kyle, but was it possible that Audra was a long-lost Abbott, a hidden link to Jack's past that no one had suspected? To find the truth, Victor planned to use the one tactic he knew would work, a DNA test. He had used this method in the past to uncover hidden connections, and he believed it would reveal if Audra was truly Diane and Jack's child. If she was, her presence could change the balance of power in Genoa City. She could be a threat or an opportunity, depending on her loyalty. As Victor observed Audra more closely, he noted her cunning nature and her ability to navigate the Newman and Abbott families with ease. Yet her ultimate goal remained unclear. Was she positioning herself to secure a place within these powerful families? Rumors began to spread as others noticed Victor's increased interest in Audra. Even Jack started to wonder if Audra might be more than she seemed. The idea of having another daughter, a secret Abbott hidden from him for years, was thrilling but also unsettling. Diane, meanwhile, kept silent, showing no hint of a deeper connection with Audra. Victor's suspicions only grew as he uncovered small pieces of Audra's history, details hinting at a complex web of hidden truths. With the DNA test pending, Victor braced himself for an answer that could shift the power dynamics of Genoa City. If Audra was indeed the daughter of Jack and Diane, the revelation would send shockwaves through both the Newman and Abbott families, stirring up old alliances and rivalries and forcing everyone to confront long-buried secrets. As tensions mounted and the DNA test results neared, the future for Audra, and those whose lives she had affected, hung in the balance. Victor knew that, regardless of the outcome, Genoa City would never be the same. In the park, Devin and Abby spread out a picnic blanket and sit down with Dom to go through his candy. The couple sits on the bench, and Abby asks if Devin is thinking about Lily. Devin says it's hard not to. Abby sighs that her dad can be so generous and loving, but on the other hand, he's screwing over his sister. She's sorry. Devin says it's a classic Victor move he never expected him to make on his family. Abby thinks she will talk to him about making this right before their wedding. Devin promises nothing will ruin their big day. At society, Lily tells Jill that Billy has done nothing since she told him to fix the mess he made. She has no idea if Phyllis is still there, but he's only reached out to her to gloat. Jill fumes. She's going to call him as soon as they're done. Lily needs to be back at the helm with Billy. Now, Lily informs Jill she has zero interest in ever working alongside of her son again. Jill doesn't want to hear that things are past the point of no return with Lily and Billy. She knows she wasn't just an innocent victim and was working her own agenda. They debate about whether Billy can make the company a success. Jill acknowledges Billy has made some mistakes, like losing the Odyssey 7 deal. Lily asks her to fire Billy and reinstate her as CEO. She'll get the deal done. Jill tells Lily she's not the enemy. She is brilliant at what she does, and she is furious with her son, but she has to give him a chance. Lily asks, what if he sinks the whole ship? Jill will be in town for Devin and Abby's wedding, and will make a decision then. Lily warns she needs to move quickly before Victor takes Billy and Chancellor down. After getting drinks, they talk about the picture-perfect family. Sally wonders if Chelsea and Adam got together because of Connor, or if it was the infamous one night that made it happen. Billy asks what she means. Sally wonders if that night created a new bond. Billy thinks it's a chicken or egg question. Sally wonders if they took a hit for a good reason. Billy shrugs if that helps them get through it. Connor makes his way inside, followed by his parents, and they all look at each other. Sally and Billy tell Connor that his doctor costume looks good. Billy's heard he's going to a big party with Johnny. Connor admits he's a little nervous. Billy learns Adam is driving them. He says, "Thanks for that." Connor suggests Adam and Chelsea dress up in a couple costume and come with him. Sally teases about him wanting to hang out with his parents. He says his parents are fun, and they also talk about everything. It makes him feel better. In her living room, Sharon scrubs a stain. Hallucination Nick tells her she can rub all she wants, but it won't solve her problem. She's just trying to push down her guilt. Sharon protests that it wasn't supposed to be like this. Cameron told her she would have the life she wanted. Nick says, "A life with me." Sharon knows he wants her to come clean, but she would lose everything. How could she live with that? Hallucination Nick asks Sharon if it would be better for Daniel to go to prison for a crime he didn't commit. Sharon blurts, "Cameron said I have to be strong." Nick thinks doing the right thing takes even more strength. Sharon asks, "You can't forgive me for what I've done, can you?" Nick points out he's her, just like Cameron. Can she forgive herself? He knows how strong she is and the goodness inside of her. Sharon says maybe this is who she is now, who she's become. Nick says if that were the case, he wouldn't be there. She can do the right thing. For Lucy? Sharon asks, "What about my children?" She hates what she's done, but what happened with Heather was an accident. Just a horrible, horrible accident. Suddenly, dead Heather appears and screeches. Was it? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.